All right.
Now recording.
Would you like to count us down?
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah.
We're all jammed in the car, and we're going really far. Driving deep into the trees, with hot dogs, chips, and cheese. To make the week go quicker, we packed a ton of liquor. Riding Tropicana, we'll go totally bananas. Spring break vacation is just plain, plain. With something in this musky air makes us wanna sing. Cabin in the woods, ooh. Cabin in the woods, yeah.
I was trying to figure out the song.
Cabin in the woods, oh yeah.
You ever heard this before?
No.
It's from Evil Dead the Musical.
All my friends
Oh.
are here for the best spring break of the year. Away from school and from S-Mart, a week way off the charts.
A holiday with Ash, all that I'd ever ask. He's so cute and thin.
I didn't know they did Evil Dead the musical.
This will be just like
Ash is so
camp,
cute.
but with the slutty tramp. In a few hours you will see me doing the nasty in a tree.
That's looking to get busy, but fresh air makes me dizzy. And so is perfect girl. Oh, look, there goes a squirrel! A week up in the woods of pure tranquility. A chance for me to rest in a nice facility. I came into this cabin to read and sleep and
I don't know when to stop it.
Hope our headboard rattling don't keep your brood ass away.
Cabin in the woods, ooh.
Cabin in the Woods. We get it now.
I like it.
It's actually on YouTube for free if you want to watch it.
Mm.
I guess it's the first two movies combined into one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, welcome to episode 65, Santa Mira After Dark. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Steven.
And we will be discussing Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead this week. And
In celebration of the Evil Dead video game and Sam Raimi having a movie come out this week.
that was a strange coincidence because we did this because the video game was coming out, and then I just realized the other day, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out this week too. So it is pretty fitting. A big week for Sam Raimi, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a song for this episode. I found, I guess, Method Man did a song for the Evil Dead video game. and I was going to play that, but I like Cabin in the Woods more.
Yeah.
And, modern day Method Man is not really something that I really want to listen to. He's like, it's weird because he mentions like Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers or something in the song,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that's not the franchise you're rapping about.
Yeah.
He says something like he kills the mic like Loomis or something like that.
Huh.
Which Dr. Loomis never killed Michael Myers, but
But okay.
that's beside the point. So it is it is pretty fitting that Sam Raimi has his new movie coming out, and the the Evil Dead video game comes out next week too. So so the Evil
instantly got interested in Evil Dead the musical.
I mean, we could get there in a second, but that might be the better way for you to watch the movies is in musical format. But I mean, everyone knows what the Evil Dead is. It stars Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, or they call him in this movie Ashley because he's not quite.
He's not Ash Williams yet.
Not quite Ash. Which I thought was actually a nice nice touch to this movie. Like I haven't seen the third film, Army of Darkness, and I haven't seen the TV series, but I guess like I guess Ash is a totally different character than Ashley,
Mm-hmm.
because Ash is like, I guess, or I don't even know I don't even know the proper term. I guess he's more of a badass in those than he is in this, which I guess because in this movie it's like we don't really have a hero, and
No, we have
I,
a final guy.
yeah, it's like he's not trying to save the day. He doesn't really save anybody. Um, he's just like kind of surviving. Like he doesn't really defeat anybody, anything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's I mean I do like that, and they kind of set up Scotty as like this um hero at the beginning of the movie, and then like as he's approaching the house, you could tell like he's kind of just scared from the very beginning of the movie. So
Mm-hmm.
um, so you were texting me some opinions you have of this movie, so I guess we can get into that before we go through the plot. But um, what do we think of the Evil Dead?
Well,
And have you seen any of the sequels or the remake slash sequel or anything like that?
I saw the remake.
Okay.
Well, that's actually the first one I saw. I saw the remake a few years ago. Probably like maybe like 2014, 2013 or whatever.
I've
I think
I've
that's when we were
actually
watching like horror movies all the time, and I think that was one of them.
actually seen the remake more times than I've seen this, surprisingly.
Mm.
I do think this is probably the better movie out of the two. I did see the second one, but I only saw that once, and did like a double feature one year on Halloween. I watched the first two back to back, and I remember liking it more than this one. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really remember much of it other than it being like pretty much the same exact thing, except like even more over the top and more
Yeah.
comedic. Um, yeah, and like I said, I haven't seen the third one because I mean I've heard good things and I do want to check it out, but it's like Ash is like transported to the 1300s and he's fighting things there.
Uh,
Like I'm interested in that story, but yeah, other than like I guess I just never really got around to watching it because the first two do work as like a double feature. And
mm-hmm.
the third one kind of just seemed random,
Yeah.
and it's I just never really I got the urge to watch it. But revisiting this one, I do want to check that out.
Yeah, I want to watch the remake again because I
So
barely remember it.
yeah, I've seen it a few times. It's pretty good. Um, there are theories that it's actually a sequel instead of a remake. Like
Mm.
it's and I don't know how true that is. I was kind of like browsing things to kind of confirm that, and I only found like small things like the cabin is already broken into in the remake,
Mm-hmm.
and in the second movie they break into the cabin, so that would kind of confirm that like
Yeah.
those events already did happen. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that might be a conversation if we ever do the remake. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so the one text that you sent me where you said you get the appeal of it,
Yeah, I mean, I respect it.
kind of like Vanessa Hudgens with
Oh my god.
like it's um so I mean I I love this movie, but I do understand like people who didn't grow up with it. Like I didn't grow up with it
Yeah.
either. That's why I'm not like as attached to this movie as I am like Halloween or anything like that. But
Yeah, I only saw it the first time like a couple years ago.
it's very very low budget for what they were trying to do. Like
Mhm.
I guess it was like $350,000, which is only $50,000 more than what Halloween was made for a few years prior. And this movie definitely has a lot more blood and a lot more practical effects than Halloween did.
Yeah.
So like this movie, I have no idea how they even made it with that small of a budget. Especially with like the camera work they do. I'm not sure like what cameras they had to use on such a low budget, but I there are some scenes where I love the camera work because it's at like eye level with the other characters, and it's kind of
Mhm.
just like looking around the room, and it almost makes you feel like you're actually there.
Yeah.
Um, then like Sam Raimi's a pro at like POV shots, which very prominent in a lot of his movies going forward, where we see like even in Spider-Man 2, like there's POV shots of Doc Ock's arms and everything going all over the room.
Mhm.
Um, so
Oh,
I mean,
Doc Ock.
I love this movie, but I do understand that it's very dated, very low budget,
Mhm.
and I even understand why people would even gravitate toward the sequel, because that even seems like a movie that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell wanted to make more than this movie. Not that they didn't want to make that, but if it feels like they're more proud of the second movie.
Mhm. Yeah, I have to
Um,
watch it. I've never seen it.
because like I was looking at behind the scenes stuff, and I guess like the cabin where the film is set in was actually where this crew was staying. So they had like 13 members of this crew living in this cabin for like 12 weeks or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And I guess it didn't have plumbing, so like people weren't showering for days, and people were getting sick, and people were fighting, and
Mm.
it doesn't feel like it was a good good filming experience. But on the other hand, I admire like like the will to try to make something in those conditions.
Yeah.
Don't know if you knew this, but hold on, I'm trying to find the title. Sam Raimi directed two short films before The Evil Dead, and the one is called. I pull it up, but IMDb always goes slow on my computer. This makes for a riveting podcast where I'm searching for titles of movies. Called. Oh my god, I can't find it. It's not even here. Within the Woods is what it's called. From 1978, and it's pretty much a like I guess like a test version of The Evil Dead, because it's about I think even Bruce Campbell is in it, and except he just plays a guy named Bruce instead of Ashley,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like just a they're staying in like a house on top of an Indian burial ground, and they become like reanimated, and there's like the POV shots too. So like this was an idea that he had years before The Evil Dead. He just didn't have the budget, and even with making The Evil Dead, he obviously did not have the budget then either.
Mhm.
And then that's why I think they might take more pride in the second movie because they kind of got a bigger budget, and in some ways it even feels like a remake and like a third and better attempt at bringing this story.
Yeah. Maybe they
They
had a
wanted to
better
make like
experience too.
yeah, but Yeah, we could start going through this plot and give some ideas that we have as we go along. You have anything else before we start?
No, it should be good.
Okay, so like we said, Sam Raimi is a pro at POV shots, so that's what we start on. We get a POV shot. We get this like weird like thing going through a swamp or something, and I wanted to ask because I wasn't sure. Do you like? Is this POV shot just like the entity like going through movie? I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Like, does
Or maybe it's an alligator.
it might be.
No, I think it's just.
Does it even have like an appearance, or like how do you know it's there? Because when we see it come to life, it just takes the form of like trees,
Mm-hmm.
or it has like this.
Yeah, it probably has like a form. They just didn't show it. Maybe the budget wouldn't allow for them to
I
show it.
can't.
I mean, we saw like hands at the end.
Yeah, when they're like coming through the body. So yeah, maybe.
I imagine it as some giant creature. Maybe not, or similar to like Cabin in the Woods, but not entirely.
I was thinking it was similar to like those like demon things that come out of Freddy Krueger at the end of Freddy's Dead,
Mm-hmm.
like the floating heads. I was thinking something like that, maybe. I'm honestly not sure if I can't remember if they show.
Like the Blair Witch.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if they show what it looks like in any of the other movies. I can't remember, but um, it's weird here because they show this like POV shot, but I guess we're introduced to the five cast members.
Our
But
crew.
yeah, but they're like driving through the woods, and like we see the POV shot that apparently has a live form. Then it's able to control the steering wheel of the car,
Yeah.
kind of drive it off the road or like the oncoming traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're trying to like possess these people, like why are you trying to kill them before you even have the opportunity to?
Unless it was just messing with them.
It might have been like maybe it knew that he would get back on track. Hoped it
Yeah.
hoped it would get back on track. But anyway, yeah, we meet our cast and crew of this movie. So like I guess half the crew is starring in the movie. We have Ashley, his sister Cheryl, his girlfriend. No, I think it's his girlfriend.
Which I know one of them is, and
Yeah,
I think one's his sister, right?
yeah, Cheryl's definitely his sister. I'm
Oh
not sure.
yeah.
I'm not sure if Linda is his girlfriend. And then there's Scotty, who is our other guy in this movie, and then his girlfriend Shelly. I think that's the relationships that these people have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this weird idea that Scotty has agreed to purchase, or not purchase, but he's agreed to like stay at this abandoned cabin in the woods that he paid for, but he's never seen, and
Yeah.
he even says that it might be junk, and he's not sure, but he already paid for it, and it's like what? And even back then, like I'm not sure how he would manage to even have already paid for this. Like were credit cards a thing in 1981?
They might have been, but I don't think they were as prominent.
Like for all he knows, like he's just given his credit card number to who knows who, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there are like some funny moments. Like I was cracking up when they were trying to drive across this bridge, and
Oh, that terrible bridge.
Yeah, and it's like of the girls, I think Cheryl just doesn't want to drive the car across the bridge, and Scotty's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's as solid as a rock." And then the tire just goes through the bridge, and
And stuff's like
and
falling off the bridge.
yeah. Now, do you like this cabin in the woods setting? I guess like this thing is the like the first of its kind to where it's like, oh, these it's a group of people that are stuck in the woods and they have like I guess everywhere to go but nowhere to go because
Yeah.
like they can get lost out there and they don't know where they're at, but like they have all this land to go through.
Yeah, I like the cabin setting.
Do too.
Like their only escape is this rickety bridge, or they have to walk this trail to get around it.
I do like that line that Scotty has later on where it's like there's a trail we could take, but the trees won't let us. And it's like you could tell that they did not have the budget to to show that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was funny.
It's like we're running out of film real quick, so we're not showing anybody the trail.
Yeah, but speaking of running out of film, they definitely take their time on showing this car approach the cabin. I felt like I was watching that scene from The Green Knight where he's just like leaving the town and just riding the horse for like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, it is well shot. But it's like we're just spending a bunch of time on watching this car approach this cabin, and then we gotta see some creepy imagery like the swing moving by itself. It shows, I think it shows like the trees and everything. And it's like, even if I already paid for this house, this is what I show up to, I'm gonna try to get a refund because
Yeah, I would turn right around.
it's like
At like this tiny cabin in the middle of nowhere.
it just looks like a shed or something.
It looks like it's about to fall apart any
Yeah.
second.
So, yeah, like I said earlier, it's like kind of hinted at that Scotty would be like the hero of the movie, but like he's the one who has to approach the house to get the key.
Yeah.
For some reason, he goes by himself. I don't know why, but he like slowly walks up to the house to get the key, and we could see that he's kind of like creeped out by it. And I do love this where it's like a shot of the swing moving on its own,
Oh yeah.
and we see Scotty grab the key, and as soon as he grabs the key, the swing stops, as if somebody like got up from the swing, and it's like, oh, time to go to work. Like, oh, they're serious about this. Yeah, so we get like some long shots of Scotty kind of just like looking around the looking around the cabin, I guess. There's like some weird things hanging from the ceiling, which I thought were gonna come back later on, but they never do. It's like
To set the ambiance.
because it almost seemed like it was like a form of like witchcraft or something, where
Yeah.
kind of like the Blair Witch Project again, where things are like kind of just hanging and we don't know what they mean. We don't know what they're for. It never comes back for some reason, which I guess is fine. But it's like another situation where it's like if this is what I show up to, I'm going home and I'm getting a refund.
Yeah.
And it's like, who did he pay? Even like whose cabin is this?
Like who's the owner of this thing? And why?
Is it the Deadites or whatever, like tricking him and like talking on the phone and like agreeing to let him come here, or
Let's see, that would be great.
does someone actually own this place and it's like a real person? Is it
Like-
the the guy in the basement who was like recording on that tape recorder thing.
Oh yeah.
Could have went there. It could have been like a situation where Scotty didn't get this from anybody, and it's just like his own. He just happened to hear about this cabin, and like, oh, we're just gonna break in and go there. He gets the key, so it doesn't make sense for him to.
Yeah. They could have taken a wrong turn and stumbled upon it.
Like, oh, it's it's the wrong cabin. Like we were promised to we were promised a cabin on this street, but we're on Franklin's we're on Franklin Street instead. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if that's a plot hole. I guess I did hear in the sequel they break into the cabin, so maybe they fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the second one does work as a remake too. Who really knows? Regardless, we meet Cheryl, who is played by Ellen Sandweiss or Sandweiss, something like that. This scene is strange because she like I guess she's good at drawing, so she's drawing the clock,
Mm-hmm.
and she gets like possessed by something, and it forces her to draw the Necronomicon, which is the Book of the Dead that we see later on in the movie. It's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
It's bizarre because she doesn't tell anybody about this. Like this demon possessed her, and she drew something against her will, and like she does not go into the next room and like, hey, something strange happened to me in there. She just like kind of
I was like, oh, whatever.
buries it and lets it go. Yeah, I don't know. There's some strange choices in this movie, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so now we're at a dinner scene, and Ash is like giving a speech or whatever, and we see in the other room that there's a door that leads into a basement on the floor, and it like opens up on its own, and like now would be a perfect time for Cheryl to be like, oh well, that's weird. Door opened by itself, and I got possessed in the other room. So
Yeah.
something weird is going on here.
Something unheard of.
Yeah, so they kind of investigate the mysterious basement that they just discovered. Once again, like anytime you want to try to leave this place would would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of that, Scotty's like, "Oh, let me go downstairs."
Let's go investigate this dingy
Dog.
basement.
My dog's barking. I wonder if a mysterious door just opened in the floor upstairs or something. But so Scotty decides to go downstairs for whatever reason, and I mean, I guess I'm kind of a sucker for movies that I know have a low budget that are just trying to get through the runtime, because because we spend like 2 minutes sitting on this scene of Scotty downstairs, and like I think it's Cheryl who's like, isn't a good idea. Someone should go down there and see if he's okay. And then Ash just like yells downstairs to him like, "Scotty, are you there? Are you alive?"
That's
And
exactly what I would do. I wouldn't be going down there.
no, especially because Ash does decide to go downstairs, and like Scotty is just gone, and it's like I'm gonna go back upstairs and be like, "Hey, Scotty's gone. Does anyone else either want to come with me, or we can solve this another way?" But
A new way.
yeah, he just goes downstairs. Like the sound effects are weird. We did the Strangers last week.
Mm-hmm.
There were some weird sound effects in that, and in this movie, as he's going downstairs, there's like a snake noise for some reason.
Yeah.
That's like the second movie in a row that we've done where they just throw in random animal noises. Like there was a random scene or a random noise in The Strangers where a dog barks for absolutely no reason.
And they said there was no dogs.
Yeah, and then in this movie, there's like, oh, there's a snake noise as he's going downstairs. So they get downstairs. There's some cool like set design down here, like the dripping pipes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We do. I guess this is where most of the budget went. I'm assuming because either that or this cabin like really looked like this, and it was really like a piece of garbage, and they happened to get lucky. But either
It's
way,
almost like they built it real quick.
that's what I was thinking. But I guess it really was a cabin, but it almost looks like too perfect for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had to have done something to this to make it look this bad.
Yeah.
Because they're like really kind of showing that like this place is a piece of garbage and like bad things are gonna happen here because this place is just run down and terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So Ash keeps delving into the basement for some reason. He finds a random door down there, and this is that scene that I mentioned earlier with Sam Raimi's camera work, where it kind of like rotates around the room, and it's like at eye level, and it almost feels like you're down there and like you're the one looking around.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss. Oh, I almost said Chef's Kitchen, but so we find out that Scotty is actually fine, and he scares Ash, which is a terrible idea because you don't even know what's down here to begin with.
They always have to do that.
And yeah, so he does like a jump scare. He's like Scotty finds guns in the basement, and for some reason there's a poster of The Hills Have Eyes. Like, why and who? Like, who was down here that was like, oh, let me just
decorate real quick.
let me decorate with one poster of Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes.
Maybe they didn't have time to finish because demons.
Maybe it was in the process of being remodeled. Why wouldn't you hang that upstairs?
I guess the whole horror theme was in the basement only.
It just makes no sense because like the floor's not even done. It's one of those basements where like the floor is just dirt.
Yeah.
It makes no sense as to why there's a poster of The Hills Have Eyes down here. But
The worst type of basement ever.
I did like it. Even though it is dumb, I do like the shout out to The Hills Have Eyes. So Scotty has found a gun and bullets, and he finds like a tape recorder and some weird figures and a weird book that looks like it's been to hell and back, which I mean it probably has because
literally, huh?
Yeah, so it's like, hey, I'll bring the tape recorder upstairs and like we'll listen to it or whatever. And Cheryl is the only one who has like any type of grasp on the situation, because I guess maybe because she was already possessed or something.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, oh, this probably isn't a good idea. Did you happen to take any notes on what the tape recorder says?
No, I should have.
I did not either. The only thing I pretty much got out of it is that it pretty much talks about summoning the dead, and like it describes the Necronomicon and how it's like a book that was made of human skin and was like written in blood.
Mm-hmm.
And it is cool how Cheryl stops them and is like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore. This is a terrible idea." And if they would have stopped there, everything would have been fine. But
Yeah.
Scotty is like, "No, I'm going to keep playing it." So he keeps playing it, and then we kind of see like the dead, I guess, awakening
Mm-hmm.
among the area of the cabin. So Cheryl kind of like loses her mind real quick and is like telling to shut it off. And then
Turn it off.
yeah. Then we I mean I guess we see like shots of like the ground opening up, which is pretty cool. Then like as I guess as the chant is going on, a tree smashes through the window. So I guess like the trees are now alive, which is a spinoff of The Hills Have Eyes. The trees are alive.
I like it. That's why the poster was down there.
Yeah, it all makes sense now. Hills have eyes. The trees are alive. We had to come up with a third one.
The floor is lava.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
It's still a work in progress.
Yeah. So there's this like the very next scene. It's Ash and his girlfriend Linda. It's a very strange, like a strangely shot scene because I guess Linda goes to the bedroom to check on Cheryl to see if she's okay, even though she just had a breakdown. They just like leave her in a room by herself for some reason. As she's in the other room, we see Ash like getting a necklace out of his pocket, and the camera like has to focus on the necklace so we see what it is. And like this weirdly shot scene where he's pretending to be asleep, and camera keeps like going to his eyes and then to Linda's eyes and then back to Ash and then back to Linda. He's like pretending to be asleep and she's like trying to catch him. She's holding the necklace. And yeah, that's about it. It just seems so like out of left field for this.
Yeah.
But
It's a randomly placed scene.
yeah, it's like that scene in My Bloody Valentine where they're kind of acting like it's a romance film for a couple minutes. It seems like it's just randomly thrown in here. But from the window, we get another POV shot. So something is watching Ash and Linda, and it goes around the house, and it sees Shelly and Scotty. And then it gets to Cheryl's room, and I mean, I think it's just preying on Cheryl because she's by herself because she doesn't have a significant other in this movie.
How rude.
Which I mean, it's unique because in any other movie, Cheryl would be the final girl. Because it's like the other two couples are having premarital sex, so we need to
get them first.
We need to get them first, and then Cheryl will be the final girl, and then. But it's like opposite, where it's like, oh, Cheryl's by herself, so she's more vulnerable, so that's who they're going to attack first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this weird voice where, like the demon says, "Join us," and
join the Dark Order.
Yeah, there you go. It's it's funny because the instead of going to tell somebody, she's just like, oh, let me go outside and investigate this on my own.
Yeah.
It's also funny because I was listening to some of the songs from the Evil Dead musical, and in one of the songs they mention how there's a noise and she's gonna go outside by herself instead of getting help. So like in the musical, I guess they're like tongue in cheek where they know that characters are making stupid decisions.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I haven't even seen it, and I love it.
Maybe we'll do an episode on the musical someday. It was an off-Broadway musical, which
Mm,
thanks to Tick Tick Boom, we know what that means.
yes.
But
Pretty much the same thing, just less seats than Broadway.
pretty much a smaller production probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she goes outside, and this was a scene that I wanted to kind of touch upon, where it's like, and there's no way around it. She gets raped by this tree, and
Mm,
it's
yeah.
like so drawn out, and it's like we have to see her get tied down. We have to see it like mock her a little bit. It's very uncomfortable. I
I
guess
saw this in another movie too.
I mean I think it happens in the sequel, which is strange because Sam Raimi has said that he regrets doing this scene because it's so like kind of out of left field because
Hmm.
like Scotty gets attacked by the trees, but he doesn't get sexually assaulted by them.
Yeah.
It's like it almost feels like just because it's a girl, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it in that movie Nightmare Man.
Oh, I remember that movie. That was like one of those.
8
Like,
films to die for.
yeah, they had those like DVD series of 8 films to die for, like every year,
Yeah.
and that was one of them. There were actually some decent movies in there.
Hmm.
Nightmare Man actually wasn't bad. Um,
No, it wasn't bad.
can't remember. There was another one that I really liked, but I can't remember it. Um, but yeah, I mean, this scene's very uncomfortable. It it's just so weird because Sam Raimi has come out and said he regrets doing this. Then he put it in the sequel, and then he produced the remake, and I'm pretty sure there's a scene in that one too where the same thing happens. But
So it's like,
three times this happened. Um, I mean, he said he regretted it in 2019, so it might be one of those things where it's like, oh, with like the way things are nowadays, where there's like an awakening, I guess, among society, where it's like, oh, maybe we do treat women like garbage, and they do deserve
yeah,
better.
maybe this isn't the way to go.
Yeah. So yeah, it's uncomfortable. She runs into the house screaming after this, and she's just saying how the trees are alive, and like no one really believes her. She's like, I just want to leave. Can someone take me into town? And Scotty does not want to leave, but uh, Ash is like, yeah, well, I'll take you into town, I guess, and you could find a hotel to stay at or something. Um, but it's like, how do you even how do you even explain that situation? Like, oh, I was
Assaulted by trees.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
all she says is that the trees are alive. Um, I, I mean, I guess because in the scene where they were listening to like the recording of whatever that guy was saying, they originally filmed it where the whole crew was going to be smoking marijuana,
Uh,
and they actually smoked marijuana, and they had to reshoot the scene because I guess everyone was too obnoxious. So I mean, if they would have kept that in, it might have made more sense. Where like, oh, maybe she's just high, and
yeah.
but then it's like marijuana is not an hallucinogenic drug, so I don't think it
No.
would. I don't think it would make you see trees coming to life.
No, probably shouldn't.
But regardless, she Ash agrees to take her into town, and it's like this scene's actually pretty. Like I guess there's no reason being is like uh, dark as it is because all that happens is that they drive to the bridge and we find out that the bridge is gone,
Yeah.
and Cheryl starts panicking because she realizes that they're trapped here and they don't really have any other means of trying to leave. Even though I feel like if that happened to me and I was attacked by trees, I would try to find another way out.
Yeah.
Like you could jump in the river below and just see where it takes you. Just to get anywhere but here.
If I
But
missed the landing. Well, the river's not deep.
that'd be something where you just like try to escape and then you just slam into rocks. So they go back to the cabin again. Ash decides to listen to more of the tape. He learns that the only way to kill an entity is to dismember the possessed host. And there's this cool part where the other two girls, Shelly and Linda, are like playing cards, and Cheryl is just like looking out the window. He
Mm-hmm.
is somehow able to know the cards that Shelly and Linda are holding. And then
Yeah, I like that part.
she like she turns around and she's possessed, and it's this like very effective makeup that I think still holds up today. Like I guess she like has scratches on her face and her skin is like peeling off, and she's like purple. I think she like floats at some point.
Yeah, she does.
It's very well done.
Yes, I really did like that part.
It's unique because I remember seeing the remake, and I like the shot of the girl locked in the basement in the remake too. But then I went back and saw this one, and it's like this one's probably better by like a tad,
Yeah.
just because it does look more like something you would actually see if this were to happen, and the CGI and the new one is kind of a bit too over the top, and it's like the Grudge-esque, or like
Oh, yeah.
like the girl from The Ring, something like that. But anyway, an alternate title.
Practical effects. I always prefer the practical effects.
Mm-hmm. Another alternate title for this movie that I had is Ash versus Shelves, because
Oh, I noticed that he gets like brutally attacked by shelves twice in the movie.
Yeah.
And it looked painful both times too. Like,
especially the second time, like it's on top of him the second time and he can't get out. He has like an arm going through a shelf to kind of add to like, oh, I'm really stuck here.
yeah.
So I mean, the original title was The Book of the Dead, and it was changed to The Evil Dead, and then we could do The Trees Are Alive or Ash versus Shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess they like tried to like, hold Cheryl down to like kind of control her, but she pushes Ash into a shelf, and the shelf falls on him, and I mean, I guess she kind of just attacks everybody, and then she passes out, and this scene was strange because she just grabs a random pencil that was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming from the shelf, but
Yeah, I'm assuming too.
But I think Scotty tries to like wake her up, and she grabs a pencil and just stabs Linda in the ankle. And
very brutally.
Yeah, it's like I think it's the Achilles. I think it's like through that little gap that you have between your Achilles and like the rest of your ankle.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure the pencil broke inside of her.
Oh, it might have. I didn't catch that.
Because I didn't see the tip of the pencil after that. I was like, yeah, she just broke that pencil inside of her. Ouch.
Yeah, you might be right. I didn't notice that. But and then there's a cool fight scene where Scotty has an axe and he's like hitting Cheryl, and he like knocks her into the basement, and it's like funny how he just like smacks her and she falls down the steps, and then he like sits on the door, then locks it, but it's like this weird shot where he's like bouncing because she's like trying to push up from the basement.
Yeah.
And then Linda, who was just stabbed in the ankle, decides to go to bed.
We have write her out for a little while.
Yeah, yeah, and she's just like, "All right, movie, I'll see you in in a half hour." So we do see some POV shots from the basements. We could see Cheryl, who she's like able to open up the basement door a few inches so she could see out of it. It's like they're kind of just arguing and trying to come up with ideas to get out of here, but they don't really have anything. And Shelley is like extra creeped out by Cheryl's voice and her eyes.
Yeah.
And like I literally think that's one of Scotty's plans is that he says that they could take the bridge and leave, even though we literally just established that the bridge is gone.
No more.
That you can't take that way. But I do think he suggests that. I didn't go back and rewind it, but I'm pretty sure that's what he says. So
Bridge is no more.
yeah. So Shelley sees something outside the window, and I guess she's like drawn to it, and we see the entity like kind of watching them again. And then Scotty is like, "Hey Shelley, we need you out of the movie for a few minutes. Why don't you go to bed now?" So she goes into her bedroom, and me and Carrie were both watching this, and we were like cracking up at this scene because Shelley screams from the other room. Keep in mind, Scotty and Ash are just calmly sitting in the next room over. And Scotty just like calmly gets up and just walks in the room. And it's like at a time like this, like why aren't you like
frantic?
Yeah. So he's like kind of like walking through the house, and I guess Shelley is like out of her bedroom at this point. And this is the shower part, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, yeah. So he's like walking through the house and trying to find her, and then he goes to the shower, and she's like I guess it's like a fake out where I think that she might be in there, but she's not. And then he's then seemingly scratched in the face, and Scotty and Shelley kind of get into a fight as well. A little bit of a tussle going on. He throws her into the fire, and then he realizes like, oh, that's my girlfriend, and I'm gonna burn her to death.
Let me not do that.
He pulls her out, and it's creepy because the Deadite voice like thanks him for it.
Oh,
And it's like, oh, I would have burned to death. Thank you so much. And this scene, I was so confused. Where does this dagger come from?
It was on the shelf.
What was it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I was like, oh, they probably got it from the basement, but I don't remember Scotty saying like, oh, there's a dagger down here too.
Let me bring that upstairs while we're at it. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like she has the dagger, and Scotty has like a knife or something. And I think he stabs her with the knife, and like nothing really happens. And she's like holding the dagger, and she bites her own hand off.
Yeah.
Then it's like why didn't you just stab him with a dagger for one thing? And I guess what happens next is he takes her hand and just stabs her with the dagger, and then she dies, I guess.
Very long drawn out demon screaming scene.
Yeah, my dogs are not like that. Very drawn out.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, what are they doing? I'm like, stop.
I have heard complaints of people who say this movie's annoying, as it's just so loud. I
It
don't
is
know.
a very loud movie.
Don't necessarily agree with the whole thing being annoying and loud. But this scene in particular is very very loud and very obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like she immediately reanimates again, because so it's like, what was the point of this drawn out scream where she dies, and then 10 seconds
Oh,
later
this
she's
happens several times.
yeah, like 10 seconds later she's back, because we learned earlier that you have to uh decapitate somebody to finally kill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's happened a couple times in the movie.
Mm-hmm. So Ash is the one who's holding an axe, and he's like afraid to do it, which is like a cool touch, because it's like, oh, this is our hero, and he's afraid to be a hero. um, and Scotty kind of just takes the axe and just more than decapitates Shelly, because she's like in 17 pieces by the time he's done with her.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and her head was like still twitching and all that.
yeah, because I guess it's like, even if you are decapitated, you could still move, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool because we see Scotty like hitting something, but we don't see him actually, like, we don't see the blows, and then
Yeah.
it shows the aftermath, and like, oh, she's in 92 pieces. And then Ash is like, oh, you killed Shelly. What are we gonna do now? And Scotty's like, oh, we're gonna bury her. And Ash is like, we can't bury Shelly. She's our friend. And then they proceed to bury her anyway. But it's
Yeah.
like, why couldn't you bury her? That's like the least you could do after you just broke her into 137 pieces.
Maybe he didn't want to bury her out in the woods at random.
I guess. But Scotty then has the idea, like, oh, we should probably go to town now. And Ash is like, well, Linda can't do anything with her leg as is. Cheryl's in the basement, so like, we can't really just leave like this.
So he was like, I don't care, because she's your girlfriend, so you deal with it.
Yeah, and then he leaves the movie for a few minutes. We'll be back right after this scene, but Ash goes into Linda's room, and this scene, I'm not sure how they did this with the type of technology they had in 1981, but especially with this budget. But the wound on Linda's leg like expands,
Mm-hmm.
and it like turns her entire body into a deadite. And I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I like that too.
So Linda is now a deadite. Scotty is now back into the movie. I'm not sure how much time has passed. It felt like 2 minutes, but judging by his wounds and everything, he might have been gone maybe a couple hours.
And he was like destroyed.
And he's like, oh, the trees won't let us leave. And he has like scratches all over him. Or I guess the trees attacked him, but we don't get to see. We don't see what they did to him because he's a guy. So
He has like fatal wounds and everything.
I love the shot of Linda sitting in the doorway, like as a deadite.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it kind of reminded me of what Alexa Bliss was doing with the Fiend a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not like I don't know which one's better, but it's like very very, very similar to that, I think, because like she used to like sit in the ring like that sometimes, and
Giggle.
yeah, pretty much. Um, and Scotty is yelling that he's like, "Oh, Ash, we're gonna die here," and Cheryl is like mocking him from the basement, and Scotty kind of explains like, "Oh, the bridge is gone, but there's a trail that we could take, but but the trees won't let them leave," and that would have been nice to see. Like, I wish we would have gone like another 5 minutes or so in this movie, and maybe we see like the trees constantly blocking this trail or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, that would have been cool.
maybe he walks up to the trail, and then the branches from the trees come out and block it.
Just start smacking him. Like, no.
Or that'd be less creepy. It's like just one branch just comes out like a kind of like a snake and just like slaps him across the face.
Like, no.
That voice that says join us just says no. Belinda is laughing at Ash, and I hated to laugh at this scene, but I mean I guess it's fine because she's a deadite, and I guess it's not any type of abuse, but he just like hauls off and smacks her across the face.
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty is like, you need to kill Linda because she's the deadite, and like we already killed Shelly, so we might as well kill another one. Then Ash grabs the gun.
Well.
Oh, go ahead.
Might as well kill another one.
Mm-hmm. So Ash grabs the gun, and then this is where they like kind of play games with Ash and Scotty, because Linda transforms back to her normal self, and she like asks for help.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess once these deadites know that they're screwed, they just try to play mind games with you to try to get you to not kill them.
Yeah.
And then Cheryl tries the same trick from the basement, and Ash is like vulnerable because, like, I mean, I don't know how I would feel if this happened to me, but he does fall for it, and then like as he's about to go into the basement to let Cheryl out, like Cheryl's arms break through the floor and grab him. And it's like, you could have just waited till he opened the door. You didn't have to do all that.
Yeah. Don't have to be extra.
And then Linda goes back to being a deadite again, and then she starts singing to him, and it's weird because he just kind of like drags her body outside.
Yeah.
Like as she's singing, like he just grabs her by the legs and just takes her outside, and then comes back inside. And he's giving Scotty a drink, and I'm not sure if this is alcohol or what it is.
But he was like, didn't he die?
Yeah, this is the scene where he dies. Yeah, he's like giving him a drink, and like as he's trying to do that, Scotty ends up dying. Yeah, you're right. Then
I'm crap now by myself with these demons.
yeah, and then Linda ends up coming back into the house and attacks him with the dagger that she somehow just got again, even though she was just dragged outside.
Kept it on lock.
And it's like he fights her off, and then it's like kind of just like a small fight, and then she ends up falling onto the dagger, and she ends up throwing up white stuff, which is very very sus, if you ask me. What was she doing before this? Is what I want to know. And it's like, oh, she's dead, but then it's like we realize that, oh, you have to decapitate them for them to actually die. So this scene is very like questionable as well, because all you have to do is dismember them. But Ash takes her to like a shed and like chains her down as if he's like skinning a pig or something.
He's like setting her up for butcher.
And it's like, why wouldn't you just make it quick? If you have to kill your girlfriend in like this type of situation, just make it quick. Make it quick and get it over with. Don't contemplate on having to chain her down and everything.
Make it as slow as possible.
And on top of that, instead of using the dagger or anything, he grabs a chainsaw. And to like that's gonna make it 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
But then he looks down on her, and then he sees the necklace, and he's like, oh, I can't dismember her even though she's already dead. Maybe because the necklace won't stay on or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, she's already dead. Just do it. You know?
I agree.
Because then in the next scene he tries to bury her instead, and it's like, she's already dead, so just do it. So as he's doing this, we see like cuts back to Cheryl kind of escaping the cellar, and this was weird to me because for some reason they're putting crosses on these grave sites where they're burying people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's even burying her like maybe a foot into the ground if she's lucky.
Just throw dirt on top of her, on top of the ground. Like, yep, she's buried.
it's like once it rains, her nose is gonna be sticking out and everything. So like this isn't gonna do a thing. But
it was so we could get that shot of her sitting up from the ground.
Yeah, maybe, probably, but like this is what makes the scene make even less sense prior, that he wouldn't cut off her head, because he takes the necklace off of her, and like she's not. I don't even think he's going to bury her with it. So like, what was the point? And as he picks up the necklace, like she kind of just sets up from the grave and everything, and it's like, yeah, we have another fight scene. There's a big conveniently placed plank of wood that he that he picks up and starts beating her with, and it's I guess she like gets the upper hand. She like knocks him down, and then he grabs the shovel and kind of just like points it up at her and cuts her head off. So now he like finally got the job done. Like I guess third time's a charm.
Yeah.
I guess it took her to almost kill him for him to realize, like, oh, maybe I should just finally do this real quick and get it over with. but yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of like a incompetent hero, but
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, you know you have to cut her head off, especially from a few things you've already seen. So this scene is brutal because she falls on top of him, and like her neck is just like dripping blood on him.
Oh, yeah.
But did you notice when he stands up to leave, there's no blood on his shirt?
No, I did not notice that.
Yeah, she was like, like she was literally laying on top of him, and her neck was pouring out blood onto him. And then he pushes her off and stands up and walks away, and there's no blood on his shirt.
Just
And then
walked away.
and then he gets back to the house. And he's covered in blood again. It's hilarious. But yeah. So we're back into the house. We learned that Cheryl has escaped the basement. Ash is like, I guess, on the alert. I guess where he's kind of wandering the house with a gun.
Mhm.
And Cheryl is outside of the house, and when Ash goes by the window, she like reaches in and grabs the gun from the window, and he ends up like shooting her in the mouth, I think.
Mhm.
And then he has this bright idea where he's like, "Oh, there are shells in the basement. Let me go down there and grab them." So he goes down the steps, but he like falls down them, and like whatever's going on down here doesn't really make much sense because once he goes down there, like the pipes are bleeding, and
Oh yeah, I remember.
then we see blood like pouring out of the electrical sockets, and it's like, electric can't work if there's like water running through it, like that probably would
Yeah.
not. All the power in his house would probably be off at this point.
Mhm. Yeah, the whole cabin's like bleeding.
Yeah, and it's like the projector in the basement turns on, and then like blood drips on top of it, so like the room is now like lit up in red. But like this doesn't really go anywhere because nothing really happens down here. Like
I
I was
like it.
thinking, oh, maybe this is like where we're gonna have the final showdown, but then it just doesn't happen. Um, and then he just goes right back upstairs, and I guess like the entire house becomes alive because like all the doors are slamming and shutters are slamming, and it's like playing mind games with him because he's like looking in the mirror and he touches the mirror and it turned into water.
Mhm.
So like that was pretty cool. And then we got to get sad again because Ash looks at the necklace. And
Reminded of all he's lost.
yeah, it's like we gotta reminisce on the good times real quick. And then Cheryl just like slams through the door and like tries to choke him. It's
Because we can't just have them die. They have to keep coming back.
yeah. This is like that scene in Halloween, the 2018 one, where Michael Myers like, which is like he breaks the door down to grab Laurie, and she like fights him off and then she shoots him. But I mean, I guess the only difference is that Cheryl gets shot in the face and Michael got shot in the hand. But yeah, we gotta we gotta keep bringing people back. So after after Ash shoots Linda, we see Scotty sit up, which is a great shot. But it's like, how much longer are we gonna drag this on for? He sits up and then like
I think
there's
I literally, when I was watching, I was like, hurry up.
yeah, this is where it's like, all right, we get it. Can we just settle this already? The book kind of gets knocked by the fireplace. I guess I think Cheryl's like on top of him, or Scotty's on top of him, or something, so he can't necessarily grab the book. But he's trying to throw it in the fire, and that symbolic necklace is what comes in handy because he like throws it out there to grab onto the book as he's being dragged across the room, and he's able to grab the book, and Cheryl's back into the house again for like the ninth time she has to fight Ash. She's beaten him with something. I'm not sure what. And he finally grabs the book. He throws it into the fire, as it's burning, all the deadites like freeze, and then there's like some really cool stop motion that goes on. I guess burning
Yeah,
this.
turning to like green stuff and all that.
Yeah, I guess all the stop motion means that they're just dying,
Yeah.
and that the demons like burst out of their chest and everything. This is where we see the hands that you mentioned earlier, where
Mm-hmm.
like
I actually liked all that stop motion stuff.
it's very well done. I wasn't expecting it, especially for like how low of a budget this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they had more than $350,000 because I guess Bruce Campbell put his home up for like what's the word I'm looking for?
Auction.
No, he like I'm trying to find it. Bruce Campbell put up his family's property in northern Michigan as collateral, so Sam Raimi could not only finish the film, also blow it up to 35mm film, which was required for theatrical release. Raimi was so grateful for his financial contribution, he credited him as a co-producer.
Mm.
So it might have had a little bit more money than $350,000, but I mean they definitely weren't breaking $1 million with this thing. Yeah, so there's some stop motion death going on here. I guess disgusting things are happening. Like it's almost hilarious because we see, like it's almost like let's just see how much blood we could throw on Bruce Campbell's face before he's had enough of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like every 30 seconds, like something explodes, and we just gotta throw more blood on Bruce Campbell's face, and it almost feels like a game behind the scenes. Like, oh, you think we could throw more at him?
Let's keep doing it.
Like, oh, let's do it again and see if he says anything. Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's morning now, and we see Ash, who has done pretty much nothing to solve the issue or help anybody at all. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to leave now, even though the bridge is gone." He's like, "I'm gonna leave," because I guess he could take the trail, maybe. But the movie ends with a POV shot of this demon entity thing approaching him, and he turns around and sees it, and
Screams into the camera as it ends.
as credits roll. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot of plot here, but I mean, I still think it's a very good movie, and I always have like I always have fun watching these like low budget 80s 80s and 70s horror films.
Mm-hmm.
And I am excited to check out Army of Darkness, which I might actually watch that this weekend. That's the good thing about these movies is that they're all like 90 minutes, and then
Yeah. Good.
but are you aware that there is a new movie coming out this year? It's
No.
called Evil Dead Rise.
Oh.
But this one, the runtime says it's 2 hours, which might be a little bit too much for my liking. But
That's how long?
2 hours.
Mm.
I'm not sure how long you can drag this story out for, but it is directed by Lee Cronin, who directed I think it's an A24 film called The Hole in the Ground.
Mm.
I haven't seen it, but I think it's just one of those movies where I've heard good things and then I've heard bad things, so I never really made a point to watch it.
Yeah.
But Evil Dead Rise says a twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-eating possessed demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable.
I like it.
Yeah, I am interested in that. I don't know if it doesn't have an official release date. It just says expected in 2022. So it might be pushed back. But I think I do want to do an episode on that when it comes out.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's all I got with the Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Something else I wanted to say, but I forget it already. Another thing I wanted to ask.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially, like, it's one of those things you have to admire how it was made, too, because
Yeah.
it's like, it had, like, no money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's interesting how it was made. But, so I did want to ask, how did you first hear about Ash?
I don't know.
Because I heard about him.
I think it was when they were gonna put him in Freddy vs. Jason stuff.
Yeah, I was just about to say I heard of him from the Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash comic book. I've never read it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, me neither. I think I remember being, who's Ash?
Yeah, that's why I was, because it's like you could do Michael Myers, you could do Pinhead, do Leatherface. Why would you do? Because Ash is like the hero, so why are you putting him in here? But,
to save the day.
pretty much. I mean, he's arguably like up there with horror legends, because there really isn't a face to this franchise other than him. Like even the TV series is Ash versus the Evil Dead. So, yeah, that's where I heard of Ash too. So that's it's funny how it took Freddy vs. Jason for me to hear about him.
Same.
I'm trying to think of what I was going to say, but I cannot remember for the life of me. I'm sure I'll remember when we stop recording, and then
put in the description.
It'll be something that I really wanted to say, and be like, "Oh crap! I wish I would have said that." But
I'll just record it later and add it.
Anyway, maybe someday we could do Evil Dead the musical as well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do an episode on that. We'll do Evil Dead month eventually, and the new Evil Dead movie comes out. We'll do 2, 3, the remake, the musical, and the new one,
and the TV series.
Oh Lord, there's 3 seasons of that thing, and I feel like that might be way too much Evil Dead for me. I've heard good things about it. I just don't know how much I could take of that.
Each episode gets its own episode.
There might be a podcast for that. There's 30 episodes of Ash versus the Evil Dead. Why am I seeing Emma Roberts? Oh, that's not Emma Roberts. Never mind. the small picture looked like her, but it's not. It's like, wait, what? When did she get in there? But yeah, I think that's all I got. I did not find any IMDb trivia this week. I'm sad to say.
I found one.
Would you like to ask?
You probably won't guess the movie, but it's like very pointless to put. It
Okay.
says,
So
oh,
hold on. So this is a segment that we like to call IMDb Trivia, where we find we find we find stupid IMDb trivia that fans have submitted, and we ask each other if we can figure out what movie it is based on the trivia that was added to it. So
yes.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, it says, star Tom Cruise was actually born on the 3rd of July.
Trying to think of any movie that would have to do with Tom Cruise and his birthday. Is it Top Gun or
No.
War of the Worlds?
No. That's a really good movie, though, actually.
Is the 2006 one very good? What else is Tom Cruise in? I'm drawing a blank on the career of Tom Cruise.
Do you want me to tell you?
Let me get one more guess in here.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm looking through his movies and trying to find anything that would have to do. First off, why is he in Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary? Oh, I found one. I'm going to guess that it's Born on the 4th of July.
Yes. Like, we needed that information
Yeah, we
to
needed to
get to the movie.
needed to throw that in there. Like, actually wasn't born on the 4th of July. It was born on the 3rd of July.
Oh, I got another one, too.
Oh, go ahead.
This one's so vague. Over 24 minutes of the film is dedicated to musical sequences.
I mean, that could be any musical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with La La Land.
No. I don't think there was 24 minutes of singing in that one.
Well, that's why I said it, because it's like a 2.5. It's over 2 hours, and there isn't a lot of music in there, so I was like, that might be a good one. Tick Tick Boom.
Mm-mm.
Camp Rock 2: The Final Jam.
Gross.
No, what is it?
Frozen.
I would have never got that.
Honestly, put that on any musical.
Yeah, you could, like, any movie where they sing a few songs, you could put the time of music in there. Like that's
Yeah.
dumb too. All right, yeah. So, anything else?
No.
Okay. That was our segment IMDb Trivia. So, if you have any stupid IMDb trivia, you can feel free to send it to us, and we will make fun of it on the podcast sometime.
I like the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah. All right, so we could jump into our weekly recommendations. Let me cue up the song.
It's time to recommend some things you and me were recommending.
All right. You have anything you'd like to recommend?
So I don't think I've really seen anything new. I watched the movie Fresh.
Oh, yeah. It's unfortunate.
Well, I think I liked it because the ending, like maybe the last 10 minutes or so.
Mhm.
It's one of the most satisfying endings I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I just don't like movies with cannibalism.
Yeah.
So it's a hard no for me. Anything with like cannibalism and like people being like mutilated and deformed and stuff like that,
Hmm.
not for me.
I thought Daisy Edgar Jones is really good in it, which also transfers over to another recommendation
Ooh,
called
shoot.
Under the Banner of Heaven, the TV series.
Yeah, she's. I only seen the first episode, but she is pretty good. And she's probably the best thing about Fresh too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
Just
do want to.
her filmography. Because I really do like her. She's good.
She's like a newer actress, I think. So
Mhm.
she's not in a whole lot of things, but yeah, she was good in those two things. I haven't seen. Only seen the first episode of Under the Banner of Heaven. Want to see. Want to catch up before I get too far behind and give up.
Yeah. It's a bit just like what a slow burn TV series about a cult, essentially.
Mhm.
A cult that doesn't appreciate women or uses them for stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think it's the Mormon cult. I think that's what it is, or no,
Mhm.
the Mormon Church, not the cult. Don't kill me.
Potato. No, I'm kidding.
I've seen low ratings on IMDb, and most of them are from people that are like, "Here's a disclaimer, but the Mormon Church is not like this." And it's like, okay, well, don't. That's not has nothing to do with the TV show.
Yeah.
They're like one star. This isn't accurate. Okay.
It's just a specific group of people they're focused on, not the whole
Right.
society.
Right. So I'm gonna kind of keep it on topic. I mean, not on topic, but close to the director. So Sam Raimi's film Darkman from 1990
Hmm.
was like his first attempt at a superhero movie. And I think Darkman is a creation of his own. I'm not sure if that was a comic book character beforehand. Um, uh, Liam Neeson plays Darkman. It's about this. He's like a scientist who is trying to make like synthetic skin,
Hmm.
and um, like this gang breaks in and deforms him, and then he like gets tries to seek revenge on those who have disformed him. So I mean, if you see a picture of him, it's like a man in a trench coat with a hat and like bandages over his face because he's deformed from this.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Um, yeah, it's very good.
His movies are so like spread out.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like he has the Evil Dead movies. He
Hmm.
did he did Darkman. He did a baseball movie called For Love of the Game.
I saw that on there.
He did the Spider-Man trilogy. He was gonna make Spider-Man 4 and who knows how many.
No, maybe we'll still get Spider-Man 4.
Who knows? Yeah, he
Oz
did.
the Great and Powerful.
I was gonna say he did the sequel to The Wizard of Oz, starring James Franco as Oz. That's a
Wonder if
movie.
I should watch it.
A movie I always wanted to see. I even had the Blu-ray for the longest time, and just never watched it. I don't even know if I still have it. I'm interested in that because, like, it's like, what the heck can you do with a sequel to The Wizard of Oz? I mean, I think there's been books as sequels, so I don't know if this is one of the books or anything.
Yeah.
But
I'm assuming Dorothy's not in it.
she wasn't in the cast list, so I don't think so. Then he did Drag Me to Hell in 2009, which is a great movie.
That's one of those movies same thing happened to this that happened with Orphan, where the ending was spoiled for me various ways via like a documentary on Shudder and other people talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Or not
unfortunately
Shudder. It was on what is on that TV show, that the channel.
What was it called?
Channel.
Wasn't it called Chiller?
Yeah,
Yeah. What is it? Orphan was ruined for me too, unfortunately. Before
it
I was
was
able to
ruined for
see it,
me so many times, so I just never watched it.
I've seen it, and it is pretty good. But it's like it would have had a better effect had I have
Yeah,
not known plot
but yeah,
twist.
that happened to Drag Me to Hell too, so I just didn't watch it.
Yeah, that movie's very good too. And then he did the newest Doctor Strange film, which is very, um, very
I'm hearing
random.
I'm hearing things about that movie.
Oh yeah, I do remember what I was going to ask you. Um, you miss the days of like video games that actually like had a story with them
Yeah,
instead of like the Evil Dead game being a multiplayer game. Like I wish it was just like story, because
yeah,
I guess on the PlayStation 2 they had a couple Evil Dead video games that came out, and like Ash was in them, and they actually like had a story.
hmm
It's like I wish we could get something like that nowadays. It's like
or at
every,
least put in like storyline mode too.
yeah, but it's like even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is coming out. Like everything's like just this multiplayer game where it's like
hmm
we're just gonna throw a bunch of people in there. One person's the killer, the rest of them have to survive, and that's it.
Yeah, they should do like single player mode too, where you
Yeah,
can where it's like a storyline.
yeah. I do miss when Friday the 13th was like popular, and
Yeah,
that was fun. But it's like that's really like all we needed was just keep updating Friday the 13th or something.
hmm
But it's
There's
like
so much that could have been done.
it's like now all these other properties want to do the same thing, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
But my dogs agree; they miss them too. So yeah, I think that's all I have for this episode.
hmm
So
Speaking of Friday the 13th.
yeah, um, so we are releasing a couple days early next week because to coordinate with the Friday the 13th coming up. We are releasing an episode on Friday the 13th Part 2 this coming Friday. It kind of keeps the theme of Sackhead Killers going because
hmm
we did The Town That Dreaded Sundown, we did The Strangers, and now we're doing Friday the 13th Part 2. So,
I'll find more sack horror movies
uh,
after this.
and we'll have to, we're probably running out, but could do The Strangers Pray at Night. That's one.
hmm
Friday the 13th, the remake. It's another one. Kind of.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one.
Uh, yeah, I can't really think of other. Hold on, I found a list on Letterboxd with a bunch of Sackhead movies. So, um, there's Malevolence, a Trick or Treat. Which, I mean, I
Oh
guess
yeah, you can technically do Trick or Treat.
that movie Triangle. That's one. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
I found a list. Burlap Bad Guys.
There you go.
Back-faced villains from the world of horror.
Hayride, or Hayride 2, Fear the Legend. But yes. Anyway, we're doing Friday the 13th Part 2 next week. And then to coordinate with the release of the Obi-Wan series, we are doing a Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, on May 22nd. So that will be that'll be interesting because Steven has no idea what to make of Star Wars.
I don't.
So that'll be something. and we'll go from there. So you can follow us on Instagram at Santamira After Dark. You could follow us on Twitter at Santamira AD Pod. Through there, you could find our personal social media accounts. Please rate and review wherever you listen to the podcasts. I'm thinking about doing like a month where it's like if you leave us a review and like if it obviously if it's 4 or 5 stars, it would be appreciated. If you leave us a review and then like send us a screenshot of it or something, we could throw if you pick a movie, we'll throw movies into a hat. We'll draw not a literal hat, but we'll figure out something to pick the movies at random, and you could be thrown into a
wheel.
And maybe we'll pick the movie that you want us to do. We'll do that for a month or something. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll ask the Magic Pumpkin.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully we like the movies that are thrown out there. That would be preferable. Preferably good movies that we enjoy talking about. I think that's all I got. Do you have anything else?
Curfew is now in session.
Driving deep into the trees with hot dogs, chips, and cheese. To make the week go quicker, we packed a ton of liquor. Ryan Tropicana will go totally bananas. Spring break vacation is just plain, plain. There's something in this musty air.